Russia offered to end its invasion of Ukraine if it dumped plans to join NATO, but Kyiv feared a double cross, says negotiator.
Here's a summary of the article.
A Ukrainian politician said Russia proposed ending the war if Ukraine abandoned its NATO ambitions. Russia offered to stop its invasion of Ukraine on the condition that Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky's government abandon its ambition to join NATO, the Kyiv Post reported. The Russian delegation reportedly proposed ending the war if Ukraine dropped its NATO aspirations and took a neutral position. Signing an agreement without such assurances, Arakhamia argued, would leave Ukraine vulnerable to a potential second incursion because it would have given Russia an opportunity to regroup and prepare for another round of military aggression. Johnson advised against signing any agreement with Russia and encouraged Ukraine to continue the fight. Business Insider reported in January that Putin's decision to invade Ukraine was a miscalculation because the war backfired by uniting NATO in support of Ukraine. The U.S. opposes extending NATO membership to Ukraine in the immediate future to avoid escalating the West's tensions with Russia.
This post received a score of 14,000, with an upvote ratio of 93%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Didn't they say the exact same thing about nuclear arms about a decade ago?
Give up your nuclear arms and we won't invade. Invades twice since.
Just sign the Minsk agreement and we'll end the war in the Donbass. We promise. Keeps attacking the Donbass. Okay, we lied last time, but just sign Minsk 2 and this time we'll absolutely, positively withdraw. Pinky promise. Keeps attacking the Donbass.
Those fears are not unfounded. Russia already double-crossed Ukraine by violating the Budapest Memorandum. Unless Russia gives up all the occupied territory, they won't. This negotiation is completely pointless as it would leave Ukraine just as vulnerable as if the war was still ongoing.
It doesn't sound like they were willing to give back any territory at all, just stop their invasion, which by then had already stopped. This is Russia pretending to want peace so their dupes on the world stage can pretend Ukraine is the real aggressor.
People forget, but Russia also promised their troops were just passing by before they decided to invade. I don't understand how people still believe Russia is to be trusted on anything.
I remember countless images and footage of them moving massive amounts of military equipment and personnel close to the border, including setting up field hospitals and stuff. And even then they repeatedly said they are not planning an invasion and that everyone's delusional.
Mobile crematoriums, nothing to see here.
Those were extremely fucked up since their planning and idea was that Ukraine was just going to roll over. Several of the armored units that were captured during the opening fighting had parade uniforms and equipment with them. Those mobile crematoriums were not for their own troops.
To reinforce this point, some of the units that got destroyed en route to Kyiv weren't military, but were from various police organizations like the Rosgvardia, whose purpose wouldn't have been to capture the city but to establish order and control over the people. The fact that those units were traveling so closely behind the first wave of the invasion shows how overconfident Putin was that they'd just steamroll their way through with no resistance.
In the eyes of Russia, such agreements have only one purpose: to weaken Ukraine and make it less capable of resisting during the next attack. Don't be fooled. See it for what it is.
Greater than to weaken Ukraine and make it less capable of resisting. That's what Putin actually means when he demands that Ukraine stay neutral. Accepting or buying Western weapons? No, that isn't neutral. I.e., the next time Putin stirs up trouble in Donbass and decides to invade to save the poor Russians there from imminent extinction, or whatever other excuse he conjures up, it will take only 3 days to topple Kyiv.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.